Our final homestand in 2017 continues tonight here at SunTrust Park. The Eastern Champs are in town for their final visit. Jason Worth and the Washington Nationals will face the Atlanta Braves, who are 8-8 so far this year against Washington. How about that? Hi again, friends, with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey, welcome back to the ballpark, where the Braves hope to continue their recent success against the Nationals. They took 2 out of 3 from them up at Nationals Park a week ago. And tonight, Tommy, a rematch. Max Scherzer for Washington. Luis Gohara goes for the Braves, and boy, was he impressive last time out.
Yeah, real good his last time out. Picked up his first Major League win. He'll be looking to do again against Washington in consecutive starts. Did a nice job of attacking the strike zone, mixing all his pitches. Probably one of the big keys for him, no walks. He was in the zone, gave up some hits, but used his defense, made those guys put the ball in play, and like I said, spread everything around the zone. So look for him to do that again tonight. Build upon that. 6 innings of 6-hit, 1-run ball, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Threw a gem for the Braves. Look for him to try and do that tonight. And on the flip side of that, Joe, the Nationals have a guy who's looking to bounce back from his last one.
He needs to bounce back. Max Scherzer pitched arguably his worst game of the year against the Braves his last time out. A season-high 6 walks, a season-high 7 runs, and there are a lot of people that said that might have been the game that turns the tide on his chances for another Cy Young Award. He won it last year, but the Braves took advantage of some walks late. He was trying to extend himself, pitch a little deeper into the ball game, and Atlanta really made him pay in the 7th inning. Maybe they'll have his number again tonight. Who knows?
We certainly hope that'll be the case. Here are the numbers for Max Scherzer against the Braves. Amazingly, 6 walks for Max Scherzer in 6 innings, and they were all very costly. The Braves and Nationals kick off a 3-game series on a perfect night for baseball. Gohara versus Scherzer. Let's see if the Braves bats can continue to boom. We'll find out next. Starting lineups and first pitch from SunTrust coming right up.
Your local Ford dealer, and the Georgia Lottery.
first day of autumn is about 48 hours away. Tonight, it feels a lot like summer. Temperatures in Atlanta today in the mid to upper 80s. It is, however, a beautiful night for baseball as Luis Gohara takes the mound for the Braves to take on the Eastern champion Washington Nationals, who are 90 and 59 on the year. The Nationals, coming off a win in their last game against the LA Dodgers, are 8-8 so far against the Braves, and treading water over their last 10 games. They're 5-5. One of those losses was handed to them by this young man, Tommy, who pitched great in his first major league victory.
Pitched a great ball game, as we talked about. 6 innings, a one-run ball. You see his numbers over the course of this year in the minor leagues: 26 appearances, 25 starts, 7-4 record, 123 innings in the minor leagues, and add the big league innings on as well. So he's hit the high water mark in innings pitched this year. So that's something to keep an eye on these last couple of weeks for the Braves.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, he pitched so well up at Nationals Park. Have a good memory about that. Remember what worked. Remember how you got guys out. I know he's a young guy, but I'm sure some of that stuck in his head about facing these guys for the first time. And his slider ball was awfully good up there. Use it again tonight, especially that back foot slider to right-handed hitters.
Tommy, as we alluded a few moments ago, it said the most difficult thing for a young pitcher to do is to face the same team in back-to-back starts. What's Gohara's mindset? As Joe said, good memory. You know the Nationals are going to make adjustments as well. So how does he counteract that?
Well, it's a difficult thing for veteran guys, too, because, as you just said, you know, your thought process is these guys are going to make adjustments. Well, okay, great, they're going to make adjustments, but what are they making adjustments to? To me, I'm going out there with the same game plan, and I'm going to pitch that game plan until they show me that they're going to make those adjustments on it. Now, if they start beating me at what I'm doing, then okay, now maybe we'll change some sequences or do some things. But I wouldn't go into this start with the mindset of, okay, I'm going to pitch backwards now, or I'm going to do things differently because I'm seeing them again. No. You do what you do, and when they show you they can beat you with that, then you make your adjustments.
I remember you telling us that story about riding in with Greg Maddux for Game 6 and asking him what he thought you should do.
Yeah, he's, you know, pitch your game. He said, I didn't pitch my game, and they made me pay for it. So go out and do what you did in the first game, and it was the best advice I could have gotten.
A late change on the Nationals Toyota starting lineup tonight. Wilmer Defoe replaces Daniel Murphy in their starting 9. Murphy, who's had problems with a neck, is out with a hamstring tonight. So Defoe gets the start. Gohara starts with a strike, and we're underway with Trey Turner leading off. 80 degrees officially at first pitch. Maybe this is the series when the Braves will control Trey Turner, who is a lifetime .405 hitter against Atlanta pitching. No balls, 2 strikes from Gohara, and a broken bat comebacker. Good start, and that takes care of the Nationals leadoff man. 1 man down. Braves are catching Washington at a real good time. This is normally a ferociously good offensive club. They are not scoring a lot of runs. They've scored 23 of them in their last 8 games. Some of that is because Bryce Harper is out. Some of that is because Murphy is out. Some of that is because they've run into good pitching. 2 excellent starts by the Braves in that stretch up in D.C.
And the Dodgers.
Yes, sir.
And some of it, arguably, too, is that they've clinched their division and they've probably had a little bit of a letdown.
Jason Worth swings the first one and pops it up into shallow center. Ender Inciarte is in. Dansby points the way, and there's the second out. So that Nationals offensive drought is the subject of our cold hard facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Maybe the biggest question in Washington is, when's Bryce Harper coming back?
Took some batting practice today, early today, and appeared to be doing just fine against some pitchers they brought up from Instructional League who could throw strikes, some live BP. But that's quite a come down from April.
So 2 outs on 4 pitches for Gohara. That's kind of the way he pitched up in Washington. He threw just 72 pitches in 6 innings. He was electric and efficient. And another strike to Anthony Rendon, the Nationals' third baseman.
I think the more he pounds the strike zone, the more these guys see him pounding the strike zone. They're gonna go up there aggressive. They're gonna be looking for strikes to hit early in the count.
Line drive center. Ender is there, and 3 outs very easily for Gohara on just 6 pitches. Here come the Braves in the bottom half. On just 6 pitches. As Tom said, Max Scherzer's on the mound for the Nationals, looking for a redeemer against the Braves.
Yeah, bad one his last time out, and 1-2 on the year against the Braves, 6-5 overall. But after a bad start, he might be in the right place to get things turned around. You see his home road splits, 14-2 on the road with a 1.79 ERA this year. So he's going to look to erase what happened last week up in Washington and try to get himself on track for a deep postseason run.
First man up is Ender Inciarte. Ender did not start in that game that saw the Braves beat Scherzer up in Washington. Ozzie Albies started and led off. Lane Adams got the assignment and had a great game. Had 3 hits, scored twice. And Lane's in there again tonight, but playing left field, as that one's out of play quickly. 0-2.
It's kind of a precursor of things to come that night against Atlanta and Washington, because he walked Albies leading off the game. It didn't lead to any runs, but command an obvious issue.
The 0-2 pitch is cut on and missed. A 94-mile-an-hour fastball erases Inciarte. And there's the first out. Ozzie Albies and Freddie Freeman second and third on the lineup card. Rio Ruiz gets the start at third. Lane Adams in left. Swanson 8th. Gohara 9th on the Toyota starting 9.
This guy is so competitive and he's so good that it's kind of scary wondering what he might bring to the table tonight.
Yeah, you know he's still stewing over what happened his last time out. And like I said, I know it's not his main priority right now, but he still has his eye on that Cy Young award, and certainly last week did not do anything to help his chances. So he's going to want to look to erase that over his what will probably be his last 2 starts of the year.
Quickly, 0-2 for Ozzie Albies, who's batting .282 for the year. Ozzie had an impressive series in Washington. 5 hits, a couple of homers. The pitch is out of play left side. We'll do it again.
Tom, we noticed this in Washington about Scherzer. I've never seen anybody do this before, but he actually gets his sign after he's taken his hands above his head. That's when he looks into Wieters for the sign, and he'll even shake him off from there.
Ooh, that was filthy.
That is nasty.
2 outs. 2 swinging strikeouts for Scherzer, and here's Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I think that you see the back foot slider that's as good as it gets right there. I think that's kind of his deep breath, so to speak. I think that's what he kind of does to kind of gather himself and think about what he's going to do. And then he comes set a little bit before he goes and gets his sign. But he's definitely getting a sign while he's doing that, but still sets a little bit.
That's way inside for Freeman, who's trying to get to 30 home runs for the Braves. He's got 27, 69 knocked in. Freeman had a huge first game up in D.C. That was the 8-0 victory over Gio Gonzalez. He homered, he doubled, he singled, and then Washington pitched him a whole lot more carefully. So he's had a good run, as you see on our Zaxby's feature. And the 2-ball 1-strike count. In the air to center. Taylor drifting back is shy of the track and has room to make the play. So Gohara and Scherzer with perfect firsts. We go to the second. No score. Regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.tv for all the details. Well, Max Scherzer trying to win a Cy Young Award. There are some who say that guy has to be in the Cy Young Award conversation, and that guy is Steven Strasburg.
He has been outstanding.
I got to be honest with you, I didn't realize he's having as good a year as he is. I think he might be in the periphery of the discussion, but I don't think he's got enough to get it.
If he wins out and goes 17-2,
well, it depends on
how the other
what
guys
Scherzer
finish.
does and what Greinke does.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to root for my teammate to lose so I can. I'm just kidding, of course.
But I think too, I mean, he's quietly had a really good year, and same for Greinke. Greinke's had a quietly phenomenal year.
As Ryan Zimmerman leads off the second. They've got, well, they had Daniel Murphy's face on the scoreboard. They've got that corrected now. Murphy again out of the lineup with a hamstring issue that was announced about half an hour before first pitch.
Oh, it's not the neck thing.
We were told hamstring.
Because remember, he was out for 2 games up in Washington against Atlanta.
Driven toward right center and well hit. Ender on the run. He turns. That ball is high off the bricks. And a nice backup by Markakis, and Zimmerman stands at second with a leadoff double.
This guy is crushing the ball to right center field. loves the ball away from him. That's where you'd rather hit the ball than any place. And you leave it out there. Lucky it stayed in the park.
That even sounded hit hard, didn't it?
That
It did.
Unmistakable crack.
was play by Nick.
So 30 doubles for Zimmerman now. And that brings up Howie Kendrick, who's in left field tonight. Kendrick hitting .321, 8 homers, 39 driven in. They got him from the Phillies. I think it's safe to say an early run for either team would be awfully big the way these guys are pitching. Let's see if Gohara can pitch out of trouble here. A swinging strike to Kendrick, 0-1. Kendrick hitting .302 in 42 games with the Nationals, 6 of his 8 homers. This guy's a pro's pro. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's just a good, solid player. Does a lot of things right and a lot of things well.
One ball, one strike. And he's trying to get the ball to right field and get Zimmerman to third base, but now he's behind in the count.
He's played real well since they picked him up too. He's hit .302 as a Nat with 8 homers. And what a luxury to have, what a comfort to have a guy like this if Bryce Harper is slow to return.
One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. What a sequence by Gohara. Kendrick can't advance the runner. There's the first out. Reach back for a little extra there, and that's his first strikeout of the game.
Got him trying to go the other way and pumps a fastball middle in on him and threw it by him.
And he sat at about 97 most of the night in that start up in Washington.
Here's Wilmer Defoe, the man that's in for Murphy. As good a year as Washington has had, the one thing I'm sure Dusty Baker hopes he can find out here over the last 13 games, can he get his lineup together, get everybody in the game, and get them in some rhythm before the playoffs start.
That's always the challenge with clinching early, having some guys hurt in and out of the lineup, is trying to get that continuity going so you have it going into the postseason.
Wilmer Defoe's been a real nice player for Washington this year. He's played a number of different positions. Pulled in at shortstop when Trey Turner was out with his broken wrist. And all he's done is hit .278 this year. He's a switch hitter. And a higher average as a right-handed batter, .338 against lefties this year. And he's way ahead in the count, 3-0. There's strike 3-1.
We talked about guys like Defoe a lot up in Washington and how the Nationals had a lot of guys step up and fill in for hurt players. Defoe might be at the top of that list.
Turned on that pitch, but pulled it well foul. It's a full count.
Yeah, it's not like this team has only been without Bryce Harper. I mean, obviously that's the big injury that everybody talks about, but they've had so many injuries throughout the course of the year that, yeah, they've had to have guys step up, and they have, and to enable them to be where they are.
Now the 3-2 is popped up. Ender is on the run. He's going to have plenty of room, and Gohara gets the second out. No advance. So 2 away for Michael Taylor, who's in the midst of a 4 for 22 slide at the plate. Taylor's another man that spent time on the DL. He missed a month with an oblique. In fact, the Nationals have used 13 different men to start a game in the outfield this year. 13 of them. And Taylor got the bulk of the playing time when Adam Eaton blew out his knee in the early days of the year. And he's responded with a 16 homer, 48 RBI year. The pitch. Right there, a strike. A leadoff double, a strikeout, and a pop out. And now Gohara's a strike away from pitching out of this second inning jam.
We get so jaded by a guy comes in, a guy right here. He's throwing 95 to 97, and you see it so often that you don't think twice about it, except he's a starter. And then when he does throw a breaking ball, the hitters are so out on their front foot trying to gear up for it. It's that much more effective.
That'll bounce into the lower bowl, and another 0-2 count. Louise ready now. The 0-2. He struck him out. What a job of pitching there. A leadoff double, 2 strikeouts and a pop out later. We're still scoreless. Gohara continues his good work. Nick Markakis leads off for Atlanta in the second. Ryan Zimmerman with an opposite field double that his first base coach thought was hit maybe a little better than it was.
Now check this out. Davey Lopes is giving him 5 for the home run. Only it wasn't. And Zimmerman got to second. It was like, hey, what?
I don't know if the Nationals do kangaroo court, but that'll be a huge fine.
That'll be a big fine.
And Eddie Perez has given Zimmerman some heat too.
Yeah.
Love it. So Markakis leads off against Scherzer, who struck out a pair in his first inning. Different Max Scherzer tonight. 12 pitches, 10 strikes. And that's foul at first. It's 0-2. Always fun to look at good hitters and their numbers against really good pitchers. Well, Nick Markakis has more than held his own against Max Scherzer in his career. He's 15 for 50 against him. You hit 300 against Max Scherzer, You are doing okay. And now the 0-2 pitch. No swing. Just foul past third.
Nick's hit 8 homers this year, 2 of them against the Nationals. A couple more in this series would be nice. Get him to 10.
The battle continues here. A 94-mile-an-hour fastball fouled straight back.
We were showing some highlights of some of his pitches from that start up in Washington, and I know that he will on occasion drop down a little bit, but his arm slot all night that night seemed lower than usual.
Yeah, he seemed to be under the ball a lot.
That just missed. Longest sequence for Scherzer tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Nick Markakis. Another pop fly foul.
Well, he's been in, away. Hasn't doubled up on a location yet. See if he comes back inside on this one or tries to go something away again. It's like a sinker away.
And it's outside. Great cat and mouse game here between Scherzer and Markakis. Let's see what he comes up with now on a full count pitch. Spoiled again.
Max has worked up pretty good lather here. It's 80 degrees at game time. Very comfortable. Max might be one of those guys though that could sweat in an igloo.
So again, a 3-2 pitch is rolled toward first, and Zimmerman's there, and Scherzer wins that long battle with Nick Markakis for the first out of the inning. A 10-pitch at bat. See if that has any effect on Scherzer the rest of this inning, as Kurt Suzuki's coming up. Kurt, a former National, has 13 hits and 39 tries against them this year, including 3 of his 15 homers.
This is one of those weird deals that statistically are sometimes interesting. If I were Kurt, I would have lobbied to bat 6th instead. Guys in the 5 spot in the batting order against Scherzer this year are 6 for 76. That's an .079 average with 30 strikeouts. Why the 5th spot in the order, I can't tell you.
Yeah, that is odd. Dominating, but odd.
I wonder how many of those 76 hitters were right-handed batters, because that would explain one reason why Scherzer has had so much luck against him.
Yeah.
An amazing number for Scherzer. Coming into action tonight, he has faced 314 right-hand hitters and has struck out 147 of them. Almost half. Unbelievable. Fly ball center. Taylor on the run will have plenty of room in front of the Braves bullpen. And there's the second out. So 5 up, 5 down for Scherzer. Rio Ruiz the batter. You know, those lefty righty splits. I can't remember seeing somebody with numbers like that. That dominant.
Well, he's #1 in the National League in strikeouts, so that's one thing. But against right-handers, with all the weapons he has, maybe we shouldn't be surprised.
No, I mean, it's borderline unfair for right-handed hitters. You look at his numbers.
No balls and a strike for Rio Ruiz. Scherzer was originally a first-round pick by the Diamondbacks. In 2006 and 2009, he went to the Tigers for Edwin Jackson. And then Washington signed him as a free agent before the 2015 year. He went 14-12 in his first season in the district, 20-7 last year. He's 14-6 this year. And he's ahead of the Braves third baseman. No balls, 2 strikes. And that's over the Nationals dugout foul. We'll do it again. 0-2. O'Hara pitched around a leadoff double in the second. He waits to see what Rio can do here with nobody aboard. Swing and a miss. That is 3 strikeouts for Scherzer. 6 up, 6 down. And we are heading to the top of the 3rd inning. O'Hara, Scherzer, part 2. No score.
Braves no score top of the 3rd. Well, Bryce Harper coming back from that knee injury. So what did Mike Rizzo, Nats GM, do? He flew in 2 very good pitchers with good control to throw a simulated game to him early this afternoon. Harper responded by shaking their hands. Then he hit a bomb. Then he cut around the bases, got some other hits, and Jock Jones, outfield coach, was able to say he had good cutting ability, timing was good. Dusty Baker said tomorrow rest, they will reevaluate him. Another simulated game. Guys, let's face it, like Freddie Freeman, some guys can just roll out of bed and hit. Back to you.
Hey, Paul, great to have you back, pal.
I appreciate that. I'm glad to be back.
And
Missed you guys.
What a great gig for a couple of guys from Instruction League to come up and throw BP and then just hang out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And do it again the next day.
Yeah, get out of Instructional League for a little while, and you know their biggest assignment was make sure you don't hit the guy.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I love what Paul said. With very good control,
Yeah.
we're brought up. Well, could you imagine if one got away and Harper got hurt, trying to come back from his injury? That would be catastrophic.
Well, and that's probably part of their dilemma too. Is you don't obviously have all the minor leagues going on now, so rehabbing's a little harder. You do have the Instructional League option, but yeah, that would be the biggest fear I would imagine is sending them down to an Instructional League game with some guys that throw real hard and have no idea.
Held away by Matt Wieters, 1-2 strikes. Well, the Nationals are starting their last road trip tonight. They've got 3 here in Atlanta, 3 in New York, then 3 in Philadelphia before they finish the regular season at home with a 4-game set against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So the opportunities for Bryce Harper to get back into the lineup and get into live game action, well, they're running out of time. There are only 13 games left.
Jeff Francoeur and I were talking about this, though, over the weekend, talking about how we hated live batting practice in spring training.
Yes.
Hated it.
Wieters hooks one over third. That's headed for the corner. Lane Adams over as quickly as he can get there. But Wieters on his way to second with a base hit. That snaps an 0 for 16 slide for the Nationals catcher. And it's only his 2nd hit this month.
And the Braves have done a good job of controlling Matt, too. He only had a 209 average on the year against the Braves. But he got a spinning slider out over the plate.
Yeah, out over the plate a little bit that he was able to stay back just enough to hook it down the corner.
So back-to-back innings with leadoff doubles for Washington. Now Scherzer will try to bunt Wieters to third base. That's fouled off of Suzuki, who's down on a knee. And strike 1.
You know, people just assume that those shin guards are foolproof. And while they are so much better than they used to be, you get hit in a certain spot right in between those plastic covers. It's horrible.
Scherzer gets the bunt down to third. Perfect execution. And the sacrifice works. Runner at third, 1 out. Trey Turner's coming up. Those plays are always important come postseason time.
Well, they're always important, right? But yeah, certainly postseason, those runs are going to be at a premium, and that was perfectly executed with a runner on second base. Make that third baseman field the ball.
So here's Turner. Gohara broke his bat to start the game. Trey hit one on the ground right back to the mound. Luis would love another outcome just like that. And inside, ball 1. And past Albies, a base hit. So Wieters scores the first run. Trey Turner does it to the Braves again. His 42nd RBI with the infield in. His 23rd career RBI against the Braves. And the Nationals have given Max Scherzer a 1-0 lead.
Got something up. I think there's a change up
Yeah, changeup looked like they cut back over the plate, stayed up.
Braves haven't figured out how to get that guy out yet. So Turner 1 for 2. Here's Worth, who popped out to center, and he waits for Nick Lenz to move to the third base side of second base with Gohara on the mound. A left-handed pitcher. Keep an eye on Trey Turner. He's 40 out of 46 in stolen bases. Turner got picked off up in Washington by Julio Teheran. In that 8-0 Atlanta shutout over Gio Gonzalez.
I know Davey Lopes was having a little trouble determining if balls were going out of the ballpark or not earlier. But what a break for a guy like Trey Turner when Dusty Baker gets hired as a manager to bring in Davey Lopes as the first base coach and base running coach.
Worth was off stride and pops this one to short, and he's retired for out number 2.
Davey had one of the highest stolen base percentages for a career in history, and is so good at helping guys who can steal be even better.
I mentioned Turner with 40 stolen bases. That is a real rarity in Nationals history. They've only had one other man in Washington Nationals history get to 40 steals, and that was Alfonso Soriano.
That was a 40-40 year, wasn't it?
So here's Rendon with a runner at first and 2 outs, and Anthony takes a strike. He lined out his first time up. 1-0 Washington the lead. Wieters a double, Scherzer a sacrifice, Turner a single through the drawn in infield. One ball, one strike. Very quietly, Rendon has had another stellar year. 24 homers, 94 driven in. So much attention paid to Zimmerman and Murphy and Harper. He's like the ninja hiding in the weeds. Last guy you expect to put a hurting on you, and then bang. There he is with 38 doubles to go along with those 24 homers. Runner goes, and a line drive to left field. Adams will play it on a hop. Turner stumbled around second, and the throw into Dansby Swanson. And Trey Turner makes it to third base without incident. And they're at the corners with 2 out.
He just showed you why he can sneak up on you. Look how quick he is on this pitch. Down so he could drop the barrel on it, but turned on it beautifully. And you're right, Turner was lucky.
So here's Zimmerman, a leadoff double in the second, but he was left stranded.
And he is on a roll.
This guy in the MVP conversation for you too?
He is for me. I think he's on the outside of it a little bit, but he certainly is in it.
I hadn't really put him in there, but he needs to be.
Ground ball sneaks through for a 2-out hit for Zimmerman. And that scores Turner. And for Zimmerman, that's a milestone RBI, his 100th. And triple digits in the RBI column for the first time since 2009. And he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Not a bad pitch. And topped it. It even hit on the dirt right in front of home plate, but enough topspin to get through.
So a 30 homer, 30 double, 100 RBI plus 300 batting average year for Ryan Zimmerman. And here's Howie Kendrick. High strike, 0-1.
Having a guy with speed at the top of the order in front of a lot of good hitters is not necessarily defined just by stolen bases. And certainly Turner has 40 of them. That's a lot. But anytime you have a guy at the top of the order and go first to third on singles, you know, without any trouble, then the singles become real easy to get that guy in from third base or a fly ball.
Yeah, and then you have the dynamic of dividing a pitcher's attention, trying to keep those guys close, not give up stolen bases. You lead yourself to, if you are trying to throw a guy out, more fastballs, which is again in the hitter's favor. So there's a lot of things that it does on the positive side, having speed in your lineup.
Kendrick fought that off to stay alive, still 0-2. Two runs, 4 hits in the inning for Washington. They have 5 hits in total. And that one slicing out of play again by Kendrick. Still 0-2. Dusty Baker, 12th major league manager in history with 10 or more 90-plus win seasons as a major league manager. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And if you didn't watch our series in Washington, I'll repeat what I said there. I think this might be Dusty Baker's finest managerial job, considering all the injuries the Nationals have had to deal with this year. And a swing and a miss takes care of Kendrick. And the Nationals in the third. 2 runs on 4 hits. Lower third coming up for Atlanta, down 2 to Scherzer now. Good run with a 2-out single. We were talking about him and his MVP candidacy in the National League. Here's some others that are certainly going to get some votes in what should be a very interesting postseason awards tabulation.
131 runs scored for Charlie Blackmon, along with 35 homers. Amazing. Now, he scored runs because the guy in the middle, Nolan Arenado, was driving him in a lot. So one of those guys was helping the other out quite a bit. Paul Goldschmidt is getting a lot of consideration from a lot of people, and with good reason. He's third in the league in homers and third in the league in runs batted in, third in runs scored, fifth in total bases, eighth in hits.
So on that list, the 4 of the 5 guys are on teams that are postseason probables. The only other man that was on that list that isn't is Giancarlo Stanton, who's sitting on 55 home runs. So my question is, if Stanton gets to 60 or beyond, is that enough to overcome the fact that the Marlins aren't going to the playoffs and edge out the other 4 names on that list for the 2 of you?
I don't think it is for me. I mean, those other guys on winning ball clubs.
Well, that shocks me. This is coming from the Chicks dig the long ball guy.
Well, there's a lot of guys on there that the Chicks are digging with the home runs they hit.
But none of them have 55, man.
True, this is
55.
true, but 30-something isn't anything to sneeze at either.
That's true.
Well, Stanton is first in homers, as you said. He's second in RBIs, and then you got to hunt for him in the statistical categories. He is in runs scored, believe it or not, second behind Blackmon in runs scored, but 55 of those he drove in himself to score. And he's second in total bases, as you would expect.
I mean, that gets into the whole argument. You know, most outstanding player versus most valuable player. No question he's had an outstanding year. Marlins aren't going to make the playoffs with him. They wouldn't make them without him. But you take Goldschmidt out of that lineup, or Arenado out of that lineup, I'm not so sure either of those teams are doing what they're doing. And same for Zimmerman.
Good point.
Fly ball hit toward right. Jason Worth is over and under, and he's got it for the first out. So I'm going to put you 2 on the spot. If you had to cast your vote today, which one of those other 4, since we're going to eliminate Stanton, which one would you check the box for?
I think, again, like Joe was saying, when you look through the statistical stuff, to me, Arenado's name shows up pretty much everywhere. And I think for that reason, I think he would probably be the guy I'd vote for right now.
Me too, with Goldschmidt closing fast, but Arenado's the guy for me because he's also a Gold Glover 4 times in the 4 years he's been in the big leagues, and will win it again. And
playing third base, not first. No disrespect to Paul Goldschmidt, right? And that's I think a more difficult position.
There's going to be some Coors Field fallout for him and Blackmon.
Dansby lifts one toward left. He had a big run scoring hit against Scherzer in Washington. Not this time, however, as Kendrick puts the squeeze on that, and it's 8 up, 8 down for Max.
But you were asking about Arenado's numbers home and road,
and they're pretty good. I mean, he's at least dispelled the home run notion. I think his home runs are evenly split, of course, across home and road. But his average is 30 points higher at Coors Field, and he's got 20-something more RBIs. But the RBIs too probably are just having more opportunities. They score more runs at home. That's not his fault, but he's getting the opportunities, to put drive guys in at home, and he's doing it.
That's fouled back. And Gohara quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes.
And I think in Zimmerman's case, I think what will hurt him is most people who don't necessarily pay attention will look at the Nationals and see a team that was supposed to win and won't dig deep enough to realize how many guys have been hurt and how he's carried this team for long stretches.
That is tipped and caught, and Scherzer is perfect through 3 innings with 4 strikeouts, and he leads Game 1 in Atlanta by a 2-0 score.
brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Welcome back, everybody. Top of the fourth. Nats up in this one 2-0. Well, how about Luis Gohara, the big lefty, compared to CC Sabathia? Now, guys, I don't like to compare somebody to somebody like CC so early, but it's uncanny. The big mound presence, imposing lefty, good breaking ball, changeup. And I'm very impressed with his fastball command. So I like a lot of the young Braves pitchers right now, but I think he is showing me tonight, I feel like he may be the most ready. Talking to Chuck Hernandez, they said they have big plans for this guy. He comes at you full force. Guys, I'm impressed. Back to you.
Yeah, I wish you could have seen him up in Washington, Paul, because that command was even better. And I think his fastball was a tick higher up in Washington. He was sitting on 97. Tonight he's only hit it a couple of times.
If Tom Glavine will show him that changeup, he could be even better.
I'd be happy to show him, Paul. All he has to do is ask. I like him too. I mean, it's pretty easy delivery. Ball gets on you in a hurry, which sounds silly when he's throwing 97, but
Defoe to center and playable for Inciarte, who's got it, one out.
yeah, but I think with him, like most pitchers, but certainly young guys, fastball command is key. And when he has his fastball command, which he seems to have pretty regularly, makes all that other stuff better. But he seems to be a little bit more frequent, I guess, with that command as opposed to some of the other guys.
Michael Taylor struck out his first time up. Gohara's second of 3 tonight. And he jumps on the first one and hammers that toward the gap. No chance for Adams to get it. It's off the fence. Ender backs it up, and Michael Taylor with a line drive double with one out. So you guys were right. Nationals aren't going to stick around and get to 2 strikes against Gohara. They are attacking early in the count. And that is their third 2-base hit of the game.
Fastball up. They've got some high fastball hitters in Turner and Taylor.
Yeah, I think if there's been one consistent miss tonight for Gohara, it's been up with the fastball.
So runner at second for Matt Wieters. Doubled leading off the Nationals' third and scored the game's first run. If you can get Wieters, you can get out of the inning with Scherzer waiting on deck. Little pop into right field and playable from Markakis. Taylor is at the second base bag, bluffs a tag, but won't advance. And there's out number 2.
Hey, Paul, I know this is something you talked about in Braves Live. Let's put that CC Sabathia and Luis Gohara side by side again.
Yeah, no, this is uncanny. Now, CC has the arm stab. He's going to bring it down and he's going to stop. Gohara doesn't do that. He keeps the fluid motion, which we all would recommend not stopping your arm delivery, but the body, the follow through, the leg kick, all we need is the jersey to come untucked, and it is a lock. But now, Sabathia threw 99, but Gohara's throwing 96, 97. So I believe what Tom said, it comes down to fastball command. He is very, very good. And Chuck's, did you see right there the breaking ball? Chuck talking to us early said he was really impressed with his breaking ball. So let's not forget this young man is 21 years old and started in A ball. Wow.
Pretty impressive.
Hot shot by Scherzer. Nice pick at third base. And the toss across in plenty of time. Well, all Louis Gohara needs his 233 more wins, and they'll have as many as CC Sabathia. He's off to a good start, down 2 tonight. Four strikeouts. He has struck out 250 or more men now in 4 straight seasons. Last pitcher to do that was Pedro Martinez. Luckily for Atlanta, it's only a 2-0 game, so bloop and a blast, you could get even against the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League. Ender Inciarte will get things started for the Braves. He's 0 for 1 tonight, and he's our SunTrust confidence player.
Great numbers for Ender. Over that stretch, he has 26 hits in 18 games. That's why he's got 190 on the year now.
And a swing and a miss.
I was just looking back, though. I like going back to this game on the 13th because even though the Braves had a lot of base runners early, they didn't score until the 5th inning off Scherzer. And then added another single run in the 6th, and that was the first time they had the lead.
Well, as you guys said, after an outing like that, you know Scherzer was going to have his A stuff tonight. And when you get high strikes like that,
oh,
he doesn't need that kind of help.
Nope.
0-2 pitch. And a defensive swing. Ender rolls to second. And he's the first out. 10 up, 10 down for Scherzer tonight. One away for Ozzie, who struck out on a nasty slider, I guess, in the opening inning for the Braves.
Yeah, it was a big, hard, sweeping slider to his back foot. More like his back knee on that occasion.
That's upstairs. Ball 1.
Because his slider's so good, Tom, I likened him to John Smoltz the other day when he was facing the Braves. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, he's got a little bit more movement with his fastball than John did, but in terms of the devastation of that slider to a hitter, yeah, absolutely.
Didn't get the high heat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another ground ball to second. Another chance for Defoe. And he fields cleanly. There's the second out.
Change up.
Nothing to eliminate yet.
No, I mean, and that's what he does so well. I mean, he's you know, obviously works both sides of the plate. Works all of his pitches on both sides of the plate, and you know, really very seldom does he double up on either location or pitch. I think first pitch I've really seen him double up on was that second pitch slider, and I think it was because he threw the first one so bad that he wanted to throw another one.
Agreed.
Well, Freddie Freeman has one of the hardest hit balls for the Braves tonight. A fly ball to deep center, but he was retired by Michael Taylor. Shift on for him. 3 defenders on the right side of the diamond. The pitch. And Freddie hits it that way. Defoe going out. Still going. He overran it. It drops in front of Worth for the game's first hit for Atlanta.
I don't know how Freddie hit that ball.
He's wondering the same thing.
So far inside. You see Wieters having a cross over there to try and catch it. I don't know what Defoe was looking at, but it wasn't the baseball.
No.
So there goes the no-hit bid for Scherzer. There's the bloop. Can Markakis provide the blast? A 10-pitch at bat against Scherzer in the second, who showed him everything in his arsenal before he got him to ground out to first. Let's see if that pays off here in the Braves' 4th inning. 2-0. Nationals have the lead. Line drive into center field. That's down for a hit. And Freeman will stop at second. 2 are on with 2 outs. So Scherzer in the stretch for the first time, and now in trouble for the first time.
Belt high fastball. Nick's not going to miss many of those.
Let's see if the Braves can get a 2-out hit themselves and pick up a run here. Suzuki has 11 RBIs against the National staff this year. He's 5 out of 16 against Scherzer in his career, including a homer.
Sit on a slider here. Hope he hangs it.
At the inside corner, and Suzuki having a civil conversation with Bill Miller behind the plate.
That's not a strike. That changeup he called up there wasn't a strike either.
I don't think it was a strike either.
Yeah.
Regardless of the bright lights.
0-1 pitch. One and one to the Braves catcher Kurt Suzuki. And cued off the end of the bat foul. 1-2 the count.
Kurt's hit 3 homers against his former team this year, the Nationals. They know he's a good fastball hitter. And even Scherzer, with his good heater, he's trying to stay away from him.
Yeah, see if maybe he tries to go hard in, push him off the plate, go back to that slider to finish him. But if you do, you better miss in.
Now the 1-2 pitch. There's the miss in.
Good call. I'm with you. I think as a hitter, that's something, even with a 2-strike count, you've got to think with him and think middle away, even at the expense of getting your bat broken.
Let's see where Wieters goes as Scherzer comes set. And a shot toward third. That is a foul ball. A foul ball. Great stop by Rendon. And Suzuki will get another crack at Scherzer here. That was close.
I'm not sure how Kurt hit that ball.
I don't know how he hit it either. Kerwin Danley's got, well, at least it landed foul. Kerwin may have been blocked by Rendon, who was going after it. Looked like Kerwin had a kind of a brace on there for a couple of fingers on his left hand.
So it's 2-2. 2 on, 2 out. And Wieters with a backhanded stop. It's full, and now the advantage for the Braves. Freeman and Markakis will get a head start with a full count. And Rio Ruiz waiting on deck. Freeman at second, Markakis at first. Now the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. And back and out of play.
Yeah, Chan looked it up for us. Kerwin Danley was hit by a pitch while umpiring behind the plate. I would guess by speculation, just looking at that brace, must have broken a finger or two.
Oh, it was a 48-foot curveball too.
So another good battle here with the Braves hitter Kurt Suzuki, this time making Scherzer work. He's about to throw his 60th pitch of the night. Runners go, and it's fouled away again.
Great at bat.
I think that's one thing too that appears to be a little bit of a struggle for Scherzer. To me, normally he's really good at, if you put the ball in play early, he'll pitch the contact, he'll get early count outs, but once he gets 2 strikes on you, he's pretty good at putting you away, and he's struggled putting guys away tonight.
Now he's got a sign he likes. Runners go, and Suzuki spoiled another.
Well, he went 6 innings plus 5 batters in that game in Washington and threw 116 pitches. Again, there were a lot of walks in there, 6 of them.
Nine of those 19 pitches this inning have been seen by Kurt Suzuki. This will be the 10th pitch of this sequence. And here we go. Line drive left field, a base hit. That's going to score Freeman. Markakis on his way to third. What an at bat by Kurt Suzuki. '43rd RBI, 12th against Washington, and the Braves are back in the game. It's 2-1.
I don't think that was a fastball either. No,
slider.
covered it. Big league at bat there, folks.
Well, let's see if a little history will repeat itself here. Rio Ruiz hit his first big league homer against Max Scherzer on May 20th. One of those here would be a nice way to cap the fourth inning for Atlanta. Down a run now. And Scherzer piling up the pitches here in the fourth. All this trouble with 2 outs. He set down the first 11 hitters in order. He's given up 3 singles and a run since. Good cut, foul back, though, strike 1. Once Scherzer got to the stretch, he's been a different guy. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down the right field line, but he pulled it into the seats. And I believe Rio broke his bat.
I'm with Tom. These Braves hitters are really doing a good job of not allowing Scherzer to put them away.
Well, he's around the plate. 65 pitches, 52 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can throw too many strikes.
So Rio has to work hard here. Behind in the count, 1-2. Tying run, Markakis 90 feet away. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. There's that slider. And the Braves are done in the 4th inning. But a 2-out rally, 3 singles turns into Atlanta's first run. We head to the 5th. It's 2-1 Washington. From our Xfinity cam from high atop the Comcast building beyond the right field stands here. And hopefully Peggy's having a happy birthday. Luis Gohara back to work against Trey Turner, who pops the first pitch up into shallow right field. Marquez is under it and has it. And Turner's retired for the second time in 3 tries. Braves have made a couple of defensive changes after 4 innings of play. Ender Inciarte's come out of the game. Jace Peterson checks into play left field. Lane Adams shifts from left to center. As soon as we find out what's up with Ender, we'll pass it along. So here's Worth. He's popped out to center and popped out to short. He swings the first one and out of play a strike. Game 61 for Jason Worth, who's had all kinds of injury problems here in 2017. Missed 75 games with a left foot contusion. And then once he came back and started playing, his shoulder started bothering him. Sharply hit past third and into the left field corner. Worth on his way to second base, and he'll stand there with 1 out.
He can still hit, though. He can come out of the deep forest of injuries and step up and hit.
Like another changeup that cut up in the zone, and Worth didn't miss it.
So 8 2-base hits for Jason Worth, as the Nationals have a 5th inning bid to try to get that Atlanta run right back. Here's Rendon, who singled last time up. He's also lined out. And Zimmerman, who waits on deck. Right there, a strike.
Remember earlier in the year when I was talking about Dansby Swanson being kind of static at the plate. He really didn't have any load, as they call it, to get his swing started. Watch Rendon. His is very subtle. He holds his hands pretty low, but he does have a little bit of a move to move him back. Gets the bat started.
Fly ball center. Lane Adams takes a roundabout route. He's there. He's got it. And the throw way off target at third, but no advance by Jason Worth. 2 outs. Here's Zimmerman, who's doubled and singled home a run. That missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes. And bounding ball foul beyond the Nationals dugout. And the Nats are not exactly lighting up the scoreboard. They had a big game against LA to avoid being swept by the Dodgers. Zimmerman had a multi-homer game. But even counting the 7th spot they scored, and including tonight's 2, they've scored 25 runs in their last 9 games. Swing and miss. But the way Scherzer and Roark and Strasburg are pitching, sometimes you only need 1 Tonight, two's been enough for them so far. They lead 2-1 after 4.5.
The base hit that Zimmerman got to drive in the run was a fastball that was in, but it was down where he could drop the barrel on it. I'd really like to see him come in about letter high and in and tie him up. Remember, we were showing Smith for the kid for the Mets and how far he was off the plate, kind of showing you where he wanted the ball, which was not in. Well, look at Zimmerman, and he's got long arms. He's a lot taller, but he's showing you where he wants the ball, and that's out away from him.
To third, and a tricky hop. Rio can't corral it, and that's going to score Jason Worth. So Zimmerman puts the ball in play, and the Nationals get a third run. That hurts. O'Hara was the ground ball man away from getting out of the inning.
Ball really came up on Rio. Tough error.
So it scores Worth to make it 3-1 Washington. Now Howie Kendrick, the batter, he's struck out twice. And he lines over short. Jace Peterson will chase that down in the gap. Zimmerman around the bag at second. He'll head to third. And the Nationals now have a 2-out rally.
Kendrick wasn't going to waste any time either after striking out his first 2 times up.
So Chuck Hernandez with the 5th inning visit, as Wilmer Defoe is the Nationals hitter. Mentioned the Dodgers having a good series against Washington. They're continuing their trip in Philadelphia, winning tonight 2-0. Dodgers going for their 97th win. They have the best record in baseball. Cubs trying to hold off Milwaukee in the National League Central. Chicago's in Tampa Bay, winning 2-1 in the 7th.
I still wonder if the Dodgers have enough pitching. I don't know. I know they've had some guys that had some great years, but
They have not had good second halves, though.
no.
And especially August and September. But they've got a good bullpen, and if they can get the ball to the 9th, they've got the best guy in the game right now closing.
And the way that the Dodgers have taken that 9.5 game lead out west is really kind of interesting. Talk all the time about how important it is to win the games in your division. The Dodgers are 34-33 against the National League West. The Diamondbacks are 42-29 against the West. However, LA 23-9 against the Central, 23-8 against the East, and 16-4 against the American League. Makes up for their divisional troubles. And that ball was a wicked line drive handled by Dansby Swanson. And that ends the Washington 5th. An unearned run extends their lead 3-1 in the 5th. Coming up for the Braves, Lane Adams, Dansby Swanson, and Luis Gohara, the scheduled trio against Max Scherzer, who gave up a run in the bottom of the fourth inning. Lane Adams is on a nice roll. He's our Georgia lottery feature.
Lane Adams has quickly been establishing himself for 2018. His work here in the last 6 weeks has been outstanding, and really it's been good all year long. 8 for 8 in stolen bases. His average coming into the game tonight at .310. Great numbers pinch hitting.
Yeah, I would think his numbers pinch hitting, his ability to play all the outfield positions. This is a guy that certainly would have a spot on the Braves bench for next year, I would think.
Scherzer delivers a strike for an even count. Again, 68 pitches for Scherzer, only 14 out of the strike zone. He's given up a run on 3 hits. Braves have left 2 on base. That came in their last at bat. And that's up and out of play. Minnesota winning tonight 2-1 against the Yankees in New York. Minnesota with a 1.5 game lead over the Angels for the last wild card. They're 5 behind New York for the top wild card in the American League.
And all the Angels have to do to gain some ground is beat Cleveland at home.
Yeah, go get them. That's Clevenger and Tyler Skaggs for the Angels tonight. 2-2 pitch. Stayed inside. Good job Minnesota's done. Got Jaime Garcia for 5 minutes, then traded him to the Yankees. Brought in Bartolo Colon, who's won 4 or 5 games for him. They traded Brandon Kinsler to the Nationals, yet if things were to stop tonight, they'd be in the playoffs. Pretty amazing as Scherzer issues a walk to Lane Adams. That's the first free pass earned by the Braves offense tonight. And there's a good start. Fast man aboard to lead off the inning.
Yeah, and the Twins have been holding other teams off without Miguel Sano. Sano's been hurt. I don't know if he's back yet or not. They were hoping to get him back in the last few days, but he's been hurting on the DL.
That'd be a great story if the Twins could sneak into postseason play this year. As Dansby Swanson's the batter. He hit it hard to left but flied out in his lone at bat in the Atlanta third. 0-1. Mets lead Miami 3-1 tonight down at Marlins Park. Well, you know, the Marlins are happy to be home after all that city has gone through. They won 13-1 last night. Dan Straley beat Matt Harvey, who is not Matt Harvey. He has been bludgeoned since coming back from his various injuries. One ball, no strikes. Runner goes. The pitch outside. Wieters' throw is into shallow center field, and by the time Lane saw that, it was too late to try to get to third. But he steals the base on Wieters, and he's in scoring position with a 2-0 count for Swanson.
9 for 9 in stolen bases. Wieters at about 25% on caught stealing, but short hop that one.
So a hit means a run. Let's see if Dansby can pick up his 4th hit against Scherzer.
Play the just like any other guy, runner at second, nobody out. Get him over, get him in, have a second run against Scherzer.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Only the 5th inning.
Tipped and caught, 2-2.
Good pitch. I don't know if he was trying to throw that slider there, but front door slider. Good pitch. Looked like they set up away, but left it in, and Dansby couldn't do anything with it.
Line over third and into the left field corner. That'll score Adams. And Dansby Swanson around second is going to stop there. It's an RBI double, and the Braves again are down a run. And they cash in another Scherzer walk.
It's kind of like what Dansby did to him in the 7th inning in Washington. It was a single through the left side. This time you got to pitch up. God, Wieters, look at Wieters duck. What's this? Well, that's not a good thing for a catcher to do that.
No.
Well, what a good turn by Dansby on that pitch up and in.
So he's up to 48 RBIs, and now Gohara can lay down a bunt. Popped over the screen and foul, a strike.
The Atlanta right-handed hitters, Chan tells us, their first at bats were 0 for 3. Second time through, they're 2 for 2 and with a walk.
And those 2 hits were run scoring hits, one by Suzuki, one by Dansby Swanson. As the Braves make it a 3-2 game. Gohara down a strike. Bunted it off the plate, foul, and 0-2.
Yeah, this second time through since last inning when he pitched out of the stretch a little bit like Chip talked about, he does not seem to have that command of his slider or his fastball, particularly with 2 strikes. He's made a couple mistakes now with 2 strike pitches trying to put guys away and hasn't been able to.
There's the bunt, and he makes Rendon field it with 2 strikes. How about that? Great job, kid. Runner at third, 1 out. So now Jace Peterson will get his first at bat. Remember, Ender Inciarte came out a little while ago. Don't know if his thumb started bothering him again. So first chance for Jace to hit tonight after Ender went 0 for 2.
Nice job by Gohara. Wasn't real pretty, but it was very effective.
Infield in for the Nationals with 1 out. Jays had 3 hits against the Mets, batting .279 since the All-Star break. This is his 30th game since the Midsummer Classic. And pops it out of play, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball with any depth ought to get you tied. Peterson might be thinking about more than that. Let's see what happens with the next pitch. It's a 1-1 count. That is filthy.
It is, and it's just so hard to lay off. You see Jace's splits between first and second half and his great improvement. But it's a hard pitch. You see it because it starts in the middle of the plate. It doesn't end up there. Comes another one.
Yeah, you have to after that swing.
And he got it over the inside corner, and Jace couldn't pull the trigger. So runner at third now, 2 outs. And Ozzie Albies is coming up. He's 0 for 2.
And after swinging at the one before, you're thinking, all right, that's the one I just swung at. It's going to finish out of the zone. That one, I don't know if by design or not, it didn't break as much. Jace gave up on it and stayed in the zone.
One ball, no strikes for the Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies. Dansby Swanson with an RBI double stands at third after a sacrifice. Now 2 outs. And way upstairs, ball 2. You know, Scherzer doesn't want to get to Freeman, and that's who's waiting on deck. The 2-0 pitch. And a good swing, but fouled it back. 2 balls and a strike.
It's the kind of cut you want to see from Ozzie on a 2-0 count from this guy, expecting to get a strike, and he did.
Pulled into the seats.
That was way off.
Yeah. Yeah.
His fastball away.
Yeah, fastball away that ends up inside off the plate. You can see his frustration level is starting to rise a little bit, and you know, trying to maybe a little too hard or trying to force the issue a little bit. But yeah, his location the last couple innings has not been what he would want it to be.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball center. Taylor is there, and that retires the side. Atlanta got a leadoff walk, cashed that in with an RBI double by Dansby Swanson. It's 3-2 now, going to the 6th. 3-2 game as we have completed 5 innings. Now it's time for our Cricket Wireless something to smile about moment of the game.
That made me smile. Strike one.
It's always good.
One ball, one strike. For center fielder Michael Taylor.
Don't know what was wrong with that pitch.
Sound like me.
Quite often.
It's tipped and caught. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Tommy, your thoughts on Gohara through 5 innings as he goes through the Nationals lineup a 3rd time now?
Look, there's a lot to like. Like I said, starting with fastball and command. I mean, like for me, he's opposite of what I was. Being that I pitched away so much, he pitches in a lot. I think if there's one thing going forward, he's got to start to establish that other side of the plate a little bit to get guys off the inside part of the plate, much like I had to pitch in a little bit to get guys off the outside part of the plate.
Bouncing ball back to the mound should take care of Taylor. And good start to the 6th inning, 1 out.
I like what I've seen with pitching in trouble. Leadoff double in the 2nd inning. 2 strikeouts, fly ball, no trouble. 3rd inning, he gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, but left 2 men on base in the 3rd inning. And then in the 5th, gave up a double. The error scored a run, but they could have had more, and he got an out to leave 2 more guys on base.
Seems to be very poised and very comfortable.
Ball 1 to Matt Wieters, who scored the 1st run of the night after leading off the 3rd with a double. Two balls, no strikes.
What happened there? Did Kurt just get handcuffed? 98 fastball. Maybe his best of the night.
Yeah, that looks every bit as a strike as some of those pitches Scherzer's gotten.
Popped up into right field. Markakis will have room. And he's got it. There's the 2nd out. And here comes Scherzer. Well, one guy's got 2 Cy Youngs and is a 5-time All-Star. The other guy's making his 3rd big league start. So there's certainly a reputation and a familiarity with Max Scherzer that doesn't exist for Bill Miller for the Atlanta starter. All's right with the world after Wieters makes the 2nd out. Scherzer 0 for 1 with a sacrifice, and that's downstairs. Ball 1. Brewers lead the Pirates 1-0. That's in the 7th inning in Pittsburgh. Milwaukee's had a great year. And Scherzer lines to center, and Adams is there to make the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Gohara, his 1st since the 1st inning. Freeman, Markakis, and Suzuki coming up in a 1-run game.
your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
(3-2). We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Braves hanging tough against Max Scherzer. They've got to within 1 a couple of times. That's where they stand now, and they've got the right guys coming up here in the 6th inning. Freeman, Markakis, and Kurt Suzuki. That trio all reached with singles last time up.
I'm sorry, who'd you say was leading off?
Freeman.
Oh, I could have sworn that was Willy Wonka.
Oh, that's right. Braves country, if you didn't see this picture, wow. Charlie's first birthday party. Chipper Jones was there, Dan Uggla was there, and Willy Wonka.
Oh, the things we'll do for our kids, huh?
That's pretty good.
So happy birthday, Charlie. As Freddie down a strike takes outside. Hey, some history made in baseball today. Only needed 17 home runs hit today for the most ever in a single season in baseball history. Well, Alex Gordon is the man that hit that record-setting homer. 5,694 homers have been hit in Major League Baseball this year, breaking a record set in the 2000 season. And we've got 2 weeks left. As Taylor is going to handle this one in shallow left center. He's got it. And there's the first out.
But there's nothing different about the baseball, correct?
No.
So they say.
So they say.
4 straight retired by Scherzer. And here's Markakis, who's had 2 terrific at-bats against him tonight. A 10-pitch sequence in the 2nd inning before he grounded out to first, and then Nick with a base hit last time up. Braves trail 3-2. They've been out hit 8-4. Washington's left 6 on. Atlanta's left 3.
In Bill Miller's defense, that's a tough pitch to call.
Sure.
It's thrown hard. It's moving a lot. Kind of like with RA pitching. I'd be thrilled to death as an umpire if he just threw a fastball once in a while.
Scherzer at 94 pitches tonight. Gets a pop up off the bat of Markakis. Turner and Rendon. It's Rendon in foul ground. 2 outs.
You mentioned Markakis' long at bat. How about this one in the 4th inning? Another 10-pitch at bat that started with a called strike that Kurt did not like. Behind 1-2. Fouled off one, laid off that one. Fouled off another. And another. And another. And then whack, slider away for an RBI single.
Fouled off, what, 4 2-strike pitches?
Uh-huh.
And got a base hit on a slider that was a ball.
And a shot into center field by Kurt Suzuki. Another hit by a right-hander against Max Scherzer. Who entered play, did Major League right-hand hitters a collective 134 in 314 at-bats.
Just a little spinner in there. Cement mixer didn't do much.
So the righties are 3 for 6 tonight with both Atlanta RBIs. Now lefty Rio Ruiz is up. He struck out twice. 1 on, 2 outs. And a bouncing ball to first. That is a fair ball, and Zimmerman, Johnny on the spot, makes the play. And the Braves are out of luck. We go to the 7th, top of the Nationals order coming up. Break brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's take a look at another very exciting prospect for the Braves, young catcher Alex Jackson.
Just take a look at the numbers and see what kind of year he put together between A ball and AA. Again, another guy that went to the whip late and had a good finish to his season. Now, this guy was a former first-round pick by the Mariners and was traded to Atlanta for Max Povsey and Rob Whalen. The Braves also got a good left-handed pitcher named Tyler Pike that had a good year.
There's a shot by Turner into the right field corner for extra bases. He's on his way to second, and Turner does it again. Another two-hit game against the Braves tonight.
To finish up on Alex Jackson, he was the 6th player taken in the draft in 2014. The Mariners signed him as a catcher, moved him to the outfield. And when the Braves got him back, or got him in the deal, they put him right back behind the plate. Boy, he had a great year.
We all know how tough it is at the major league level to have quality catching. So Jackson certainly opened some eyes this year. He entered this season as the 29th rated prospect in the Braves system by Baseball America. So here's Jason Worth. Worth with a double and a run. Turner's going to try to steal third, and with the ball in the dirt, he's going to belly flop in safely with a stolen base, his 41st of the year.
No chance at all to get him. Stole that on Gohara, who did not give him a second look and gave him a first look.
No.
So now the infield has to come in as Worth takes a strike. There is action in the Braves bullpen, but Brian Snitker, I'm sure, would love to see Gohara somehow get out of this without having to go to the relief corps yet, because the pitcher spot's due third when the Braves hit here in the 7th inning. Let's see how it works out. A missile that sent Turner sprawling to the dirt.
Here's another swing by Worth, though, that's just incredible. This guy's 38 years old, and watch him turn on this pitch. Short and quick, and almost nailed his teammate.
Tried to keep his hands inside it and keep it fair, but didn't quite get it done.
Swing and a miss. Something off speed fooled Worth. And there's the first out in the 7th inning. And Gohara with his first strikeout since the 3rd inning.
I like that.
Other side of the plate.
Yeah, other side of the plate, and it took a little off, a little bit more of a traditional breaking ball versus that hard slider that he throws into the right-handed hitter. So yeah, good change of speeds on the breaking ball.
Nationals just 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position now.
Again, they are not swinging the bats all that great right now. The Braves are still within a run, but Rendon and Zimmerman lurking here with runner at 3rd, 1 out in the 7th. Driven down the left field line and well foul. 0-2.
Loud strike.
So where do you go to get this guy?
Well,
It's a tough question.
turned on a pretty good fastball right there. So if you think you want to get him out in, then maybe go back to that hard slider. Start at the same spot as that fastball and see if you can get him to chase it.
And Rendon bounces that ball off his foot. Really interesting to watch Gohara take his stretch position. As that one top of the foot and instep. When Luis comes set, he's really bouncing on that front foot. Took 3, 4, 5 different taps before he finally settled in at the belt. Let's see if he does it again.
I've noticed it too, Chip, but it's not as pronounced as A.J. Ramos, who's lifting his foot up and putting it down.
Six of them. And Rendon stays alive. It's still 0-2.
That was a little bit of a half-hearted swing at that one. He didn't want to hit it off his foot again.
No way.
Sharply hit and past 3rd again. That's going to score Turner. And Rendon around first. He is on his way to 2nd, and he's going to be safe. Rendon, a little indecision around the first base bag, then found another gear and barely beat the throw to 2nd. That foot is really barking. But he's got an RBI hit, and that extends the Nationals' lead to 4-2.
He got a pitch belt high and turned on it. I was interested in that call at 2nd base. Nick Lentz took his time. Looked like he was about to call him out here. Maybe waiting to see if Rendon came off the bag, which he did not.
So Brian Snitker out to talk with Bill Miller first with the lineup card. The Braves are going to make a double switch with the pitcher coming up 3rd in the home 7th. And that's going to be the end of the line for Luis Gohara. 93 pitches. He gives up 4 runs to the Nationals and trails in the game by a 4-2 score. We'll tell you about the other Atlanta change when we come back to SunTrust Park after the break. spot. And then Dan Winkler is going to come on and make his 11th appearance. He'll hit in Rio Ruiz's spot. Rio made the last out in the 6th inning. So it'll be Adams, Swanson, and Camargo when the Braves come up in the 7th inning. But they've got to stop the Nationals now, who lead 4-2 after Gohara gave up 10 hits in 6 1/3 innings.
Dan's just done wonderful work. Everybody's very happy for him after breaking a bone in his elbow last year early in the season. He's come back strong. Last outing on the 15th against the Mets, 2/3 of an inning, zeros across.
So maybe he can cool off Zimmerman, who's reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate tonight. A double, an RBI single, and then a costly 5th inning error on Rio that brought in the 3rd Nationals run. And a strike to Zimmerman, 0-1 the count. All the runs are Gohara's to this point. 3 of the 4 are earned. As that sweeper was missed by Zimmerman, 0-2. Most impressive thing about Luis again tonight, no walks in back-to-back starts versus Washington. 10 strikeouts, no walks, and 12 1/3 innings in back-to-back games.
Against a good lineup.
And Zimmerman retired on 3 pitches.
How about that 94? A little below the knees.
That was pretty impressive sequence right there.
Strike after strike as Howie Kendrick didn't get it. And then off the thumbs. In, out, up, down. So far for Dan Winkler.
Howie may be the next outfielder to go out with a sore thumb.
Ender left earlier tonight. No balls, 2 strikes. And now Kendrick asks for time. One ball, 2 strikes. Nationals have 10 hits, 6 of them doubles tonight. Turner's got 2 hits and has scored 2 runs. Worth has scored a run. Wieters has scored.
It's kind of the Mets' secret to success a couple of nights ago. They had a bunch of doubles.
One ball, 2 strikes for Howie Kendrick. And up and out of play to the right. Braves and Nationals playing the next to last series in our final homestand here at SunTrust Park. So a scoring change announced as that pitch misses up and away. It's a tough break for Gohara. Change the E5 for Zimmerman in the 5th inning to a base hit. He then gets an RBI, and that run now becomes an earned run.
There you go. Always hammer the pitcher.
Downstairs, full count to Kendrick.
I know what you were thinking. Zimmerman already had 100 RBIs. Why does he need 101?
Yeah.
So the 3-2 is lifted to the right side and out of play. Pirates batting in the bottom of the 8th inning, losing again 1-0 to Milwaukee. Saw something online tonight. Pittsburgh has not had the lead at the end of an inning for 60 consecutive innings.
Wow.
They have really hit the skids, have the battling Buccos. Pirates have lost 11 of 12 entering action tonight. Pitch is up and in, ball 4. So Kendrick a hard-earned walk. He's aboard for a second time. And that'll bring up Wilmer Defoe. Mets still lead 3-1 over Miami. That game's in the 9th. Dodgers 2-1 over the Phillies in the 8th. Reds and Cardinals 6-6 in the 8th in Cincinnati. Cardinals running out of time, trying to catch the Cubs, trying to stay alive in the wild card.
They almost have to win out.
Here's Wilmer Defoe. And a strike. Adam Wainwright is back and active for the Cardinals. He's not going to start. He's going to pitch out of the bullpen for them down the stretch. So hope Adam can have a good finish to the season for St. Louis. 2 on 2 out here. 1 strike pitch is way upstairs. 1-1.
Dan got squeezed a couple of pitches against Kendrick. Cost him a walk.
Line to third, and Camargo just checked in the game, and he makes the play with a chest high grab. Another run for Washington. We head to the stretch. Their lead again 2 runs now, 4-2.
Set here in the Battery Atlanta. I'm Kelsey Wingert with this Xfinity game break. And we've seen so many young stars emerging in the league this season. So let's get you out to Detroit. The Tigers hosting Oakland, and Matt Olson, who is one of the hottest sluggers in baseball right now. Top of the 2nd, and he puts the A's on the board with a solo shot. That's the 5th straight game he's homered in. He's homered in 8 of his last 10, 15 in his last 21 games. And he's the first rookie to do that in a 21-game span. And Chip, Joe, and Tom, I really wish Jeff Francoeur was up here on set with me, because he is a Parkview High School grad as well. And I think we could have had some good banter going back and forth there.
Matt Olson, I believe, is the guy that broke up Fulte's no-hitter out in Oakland, too.
So 23 home runs. As that one's fouled back by Lane Adams. If I had to guess, Jeff is somewhere having a snack to get ready for Braves Live post game.
I'm going to say H&F Burger.
Yep. Scherzer with his 99th pitch. And that one's bounced out of play. It's 0-2. Start number 29 for Scherzer. Trying to win game number 15 of those 29. So who's the Cy Young winner? Is it going to be Scherzer? Is it going to be Kershaw, who missed a lot of time? Is it going to be Strasburg? Is it going to be somebody else in the National League this year?
Somebody else might have a shot at it. Zach Greinke's had a heck of a year.
Strike three called outside corner. Adams is rung up. Scherzer with his 7th strikeout.
Any chance they'd give it to a reliever?
Yeah, I mean, it's been done, right?
Yeah. Kenley Jansen has had a year for the ages. Crossfire fastball.
Kershaw's got 17 wins. Zach Greinke has 17 wins. How about the name Zach Davies? He's got 17 wins for Milwaukee. It's a name that nobody would put in that elite group, but proof's in the pudding.
He's got a high ERA, doesn't he? Or higher.
He's not in the top 10, which is DeGrom at 3.55 has got the number 10 ERA in the league.
They throw a number out. Yeah. Kenley Jansen. First of all, he's 5-0 with an ERA of 1.27. And he has 38 saves in 39 opportunities.
And
he has struck out 101 men in 63 2/3 innings. 101 and 63, and he's walked 7.
And for a while he didn't walk anybody. He
Yeah.
went a couple of months before he issued a walk. And historically, in a year where there isn't a 20-game winner in your league, or somebody who's 19-2 or 19-3, those vote totals get spread out among the starting pitchers. Sometimes that relief guy racks up enough points and votes to sneak in with a Cy Young. So that'll be an interesting balloting at the end of the year. The pitch to Dansby. It's off the plate. Dansby, by the way, didn't think much of the strike 2 call.
The Diamondbacks, not just Greinke, but they've got some other guys really having good years in their rotation too, which makes them formidable coming into the postseason.
The 2-2 pitch is grounded toward short. Turner charged, double clutched, threw low to first, and Zimmerman dug it out. Nice play. Well, I love watching fast runners run. I love watching fast defenders defend, and that was speed versus speed. And Turner, even with the double clutch, got Dansby by a half a stride.
Yeah, nice pick by Zimmerman.
Yeah, you got a little help over there on that side. Good hustle by Swanson.
Base is empty for Johan Camargo, who's had a terrific year. 4 homers, 24 knocked in, a .307 average. And Johan takes a strike. He's 12 for 28 against the Nationals this year, a .429 average. And he's put the ball in play more often than not. Just 5 strikeouts in those 28 at-bats against the Nationals.
And against their staff, that's saying something.
One ball, 1 strike. Action has begun in the Nationals bullpen. Sure, Dusty Baker would like Scherzer to be in the low end of 110 pitches or so tonight. He's got a 2-run lead. Washington's got a revamped and rejuvenated bullpen. as he turns it loose with the 2-1. Took all the way, and it's over the corner. 2-2.
Well, this 7th inning's a whole lot better than the 7th inning we saw a few days ago from him when he walked the bases full.
The 2-2 pitch is out of play. .111 pitches, only 29 out of the strike zone for Scherzer. Remarkable. And that one a comebacker, but right at Turner, who had Camargo played perfectly. Scherzer got out of the way, and he's headed to the dugout with a 4-2 lead after 7. With this series against the Nationals and the weekend's 3-game set against the Phillies, the Braves wrap up their first year here at SunTrust Park. It also closes out the 52nd Braves season for fan favorite Walter Banks, who's the Braves' longest serving usher. He's become a living legend for fans attending games. Walter's a cornerstone of the Braves community, and his passion and hospitality are unmatched.
My name is Walter.
He's a great man.
Well said, Paul. He is a real treasure at the ballpark.
So Michael Taylor goes to work for Washington in the 8th inning. And that's downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes to Taylor, who has one of the Nationals' half-dozen doubles tonight. He's also struck out and bounced out. Luis Gohara, 6 1/3 innings officially, 10 hits, 4 runs earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts by my count. Scherzer has handcuffed the Braves on 5 hits. And we'll have the top of the order coming up in the 8th. We'll see if Scherzer continues. That's popped up into shallow center. Dansby says he's got it, and he does. There's the first out of the inning.
Dan Winkler's had one other occasion where he worked a full inning plus another. Worked an inning and a third total against Miami 3 outings ago.
And Matthew Kaminsky with a very clever walk-up song, the Oscar Mayer Wieters song.
He's going to have to go a long way to beat Aoki from Muskogee.
That was pretty good. 2. Cubs beat Tampa Bay, held them off 2-1. Joe Madden returning to Tropicana Field, the longtime Rays manager, now guiding the Cubs.
I'm sure he got a great reception.
84th game and 7th straight. Into the shift. Albies from the outfield grass makes the pickup and throw. 2 out. And it will be Adam Lind for Max Scherzer, who was a whole lot better tonight than he was up in Washington. 7 innings of 2-run ball. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk that caused Scherzer a run. And only 5 hits.
And his strike to ball ratio was incredible tonight.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what his comments are. I'll venture to say he still feels a little off. And even with the 29 balls out of 111 pitchers or whatever.
Something like that.
I think he'll be the first to tell you that struggled a little bit at times with command and particularly putting guys away. So he'll be happy with the results, but I think he's going to feel like he could have been a little bit more precise.
Remember last week when he pitched against the Braves, he came out and he just kind of paced in the dugout and couldn't calm down. He was so aggravated and agitated over his walks. And you just saw him on a better outing, still pounding the padding over there, still wound up.
29 balls among the 112 pitches. Amazing. 2 balls and a strike to Adam Lind. He's a very important part of this Nationals lineup. He can play first base against the really tough right-handers. He's a serviceable left fielder. But where he may make his presence known is off the bench late in pinch hitting assignments. This guy has had a excellent year off the bench for the Nationals. Lind with 16 pinch hits, 4 homers, and 13 RBIs. But not this time, as Winkler got a soft ground ball to the mound, and Dan pitched great in the 7th and here in the 8th. Top of the order coming up for the Braves. We're in the Nationals bullpen. We'll see how it works out in a 4-2 game. The 8th inning, and here's one of the trio of newly acquired Nationals relievers. Ryan Madsen, who along with Sean Doolittle and Brandon Kinsler, has radically transformed the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings for Dusty Baker.
Yeah, their bullpen has jumped. It was the worst in the National League, worst in baseball before the All-Star break at 5.20. Since the All-Star break, their team ERA 3.54. As you see, they're second in the National League, sixth in the big leagues.
And they are getting hot at the right time. The Nationals have not given up a run in relief in their last 16 2/3 innings, with 19 strikeouts in that stretch, and that is as radical a change as any. You might recall we saw Washington in the first half of the year. Dusty Baker was beside himself. So many games got away from Washington as he shuffled his closer like a deck of cards. He was just hoping for anybody to get 3 outs for him with a lead. It just didn't happen. So they needed some help. They got it at the deadline. Now he can play mix and match down the stretch with Madsen, Kinsler, and Doolittle, who has 18 saves.
This guy, his last 29 games, has an 0.90 ERA.
And that got Bill Miller.
Kerwin Danley can relate to that with a breaking ball that bounced up and nailed Kerwin. You know, their chest protector only comes down so far. There's a little space in there between the bottom of the protector and their belt. That may have gotten in that area.
Now does Weeder say, hey man, sorry about that?
No, not when it was a 40-foot pitch and nobody on base. He's not blocking it.
2-2 pitch. A fly by Jace down the line and slicing into the seats. It's still 2-2. Braves need base runners. They're down 2 runs. Night guys coming up. Full count pitch. And it's a leadoff walk. There's a start for Atlanta. And here's Ozzie Albies.
He had him 0-2 and threw a pitch up out of the zone, and he was real frustrated with himself, Madsen, because he didn't make it a competitive pitch, and it didn't get a whole lot better from there.
So good speed at first, good speed in the box. The pitch is in for a strike. That last shot where Madsen had his cap off, was looking off into the distance, frustrated with the walk. He looked like a younger, blonde-haired Andy Bennis to me.
Huh. Yeah, a little bit.
Andy Bennis was good. Padres and Cardinals. Runner goes. Good jump. Leader's throw is off target. And Jace Peterson steals second base easily. So he's in scoring position.
Third of the year. Weren't paying any attention to him. Excellent crossover step.
Almost came off the bag. Turner wisely held the tag, but Jace clearly beat the play. So a chance for the Braves to snap that 16+ innings scoreless run by Washington. They need 2 to tie. Popped up. And Kendrick gallops in left field. Plenty of room. And he makes the one-handed catch. So Ozzie 0 for 4. Now Freddie Freeman bats. He's 1 for 3. Freddie is 0 for 5 in his career against Ryan Madson with a couple of strikeouts. See if he can change that right here and bring the Braves to within a run or get it tied. Downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. He is on the screen. Cardinals have taken a 7-6 lead in Cincinnati. That game's in the 10th. Miami's tied the Mets 4-4 in the 9th. Arizona 1, San Diego 0. First inning. Colorado and the Giants just getting started. And now the 1-1. Letter high. 97-mile-an-hour heat from Madson.
Yeah, I always think of him as just a sinker slider guy. 97.
Not at one point when he was with Philly, didn't he have a nasty changeup?
Uh-huh.
Don't seem to throw that as much anymore. But like I said, I don't remember then him being a 97 guy. But
now with 96, and Freddie didn't get it. 2-2. Chase Peterson walked and then stole second base. Albies popped out. Now Freeman faces a 2-2 pitch. And he's down on strikes at 97. Down and in. 2 outs.
It was just right there. Challenged him. And Madson won that.
Here's Markakis. Nick 1 for 3. He's 1 for 5 against Madson. That hit a double. Braves to take one of those right here. Nothing in 1. Talked about the Nationals' offensive drought. The Braves are in a bit of one themselves of late. First the 0-1 pitch, which is out of play. Braves have lost 3 of their last 4 games and have scored 9 runs. They've got 2 runs on 5 hits tonight. Certainly understandable against Max Scherzer. Madson ready now with the 0-2 pitch. And it's a bouncer left side. Rendon cut it off and slings the ball to first in time. And that retires the side. Nothing doing in the Atlanta 8th. It's 4-2 Washington. Look at that fan behind Freddie Freeman after strike 3. Oh, so close. And go to the ninth inning. 4-2 Nationals. Presented by Ford. Don't miss our ACC football doubleheader. 19th ranked Louisville clashes with Kent State. Then it's number 14 Miami taking on Toledo. The action kicks off Saturday at noon Eastern on Fox Sports Southeast and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. To the ninth we go at SunTrust Park. Washington 4, Atlanta 2. Jason Mott will grab a baseball and face the top of the Nationals order. And Winkler was outstanding in his inning and 2/3 with a strikeout and a walk. Let's see if Mott can make quick work of the Nats and turn things back over to the Atlanta offense.
Jason had to take a few days off. He was still nursing some physical issues, but came back strong against the Mets 3 days ago, an inning. No hits or walks, and had a couple of strikeouts.
So it's Trey Turner with another multi-hit game against the Braves. 2 for 4 tonight. 47 for 115 in his career with 23 runs batted in. And he's gotten hits every which way you can. Swinging bunts, regular bunts, extra base hits, doubles, triples, homers. I mean, he has spread things around the last couple of years. Terrific player. They pilfered a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you always have that team that can't do anything wrong, and on the flip side, somebody you can't do anything right against.
And he's aboard again. Leadoff walk for the man acquired by the Nationals with Joe Ross. For Steven Souza, Travis Ott. They went to Tampa Bay. The Padres got Will Myers, Ryan Hannigan, Jose Castillo, and Gerardo Reyes from the Rays. Also got Rene Rivera, Jake Bowers, and Birch Smith from the Padres. That was a pre-Christmas trade in 2015.
Will Myers is a heck of a player. But giving up Turner, though, sure hurt the Padres.
He's going on the first pitch, and no chance for Suzuki, who backhands that ball, and Turner with a stolen base, his second of the night.
So he's got 42 RBIs and 42 stolen bases.
Well, what a weapon that will be for the Nationals in postseason play. Their ability to manufacture offense with speed on the bases. That will be fun to watch.
Well, it's an important component in the postseason.
A strike to Worth.
Did you see what just happened? Hitter had a strike called on him and he never left the batter's box.
I don't think I've seen that in about 5 years.
No,
in a major league game.
That's what struck me so quickly. Didn't adjust his batting gloves. I don't even think he even touched his helmet.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Nationals tonight 4 out of 15 with runners in scoring position. And a ground ball to short. Turner broke to third and he's going to be out. Play in front of him. He took a chance and made a bad decision. He makes the first out at third base.
Speed is a great weapon, but you still have to play fundamentally sound baseball, and this was not.
So Turner's the first out. Worth the man at first base. And here's Rendon, who's got 2 hits himself. A single and an RBI double. And now Worth is going to come out of the game. Washington's going to have a pinch runner. Alejandro De Aza is going to pinch run. The problems for Worth with the feet get him out of the game after a good night. Crowd tonight at SunTrust 26,709. Braves have drawn 2,341,000 so far this year, with 5 home games left. 2 more with the Nationals. Then the Phillies come in for the final home weekend. If you haven't made your plans, hope you'll join us. Got the Bobby Cox commemorative statue night coming up. Got a sample of one of those up in the booth.
Nice.
Very good.
I'm pretty sure this was in one of Tommy's starts. Look how calm, relaxed.
Yeah, maybe during first inning warm-ups, not once the game started.
No balls and a strike. As that's outside for an even count. There you go. Turn it to the side. Beautiful view of the bricks. There's Bobby's number 6. Great looking giveaway presented by our friends at Coca-Cola coming up. As Rendon pops this one up into shallow left. Jace Peterson is there to make the play. And that's the second out. Hope Bobby's doing well. Haven't seen him at the ballpark here in a while.
I'm told he's here and comes a lot. We just never run across him.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to see the skipper before this homestand wraps up. As Ryan Zimmerman is the Nationals hitter. Zimmerman with a 3-hit night tonight. 101 runs batted in now. And a bounding ball foul at third base. Strike 1. Reds won't go away. Cardinals 8, Cincinnati 7 now in the bottom of the 10th inning. Wild game at the Great American Ballpark. A game Cardinals have to have with the Cubs already in the win column. Milwaukee shut out Pittsburgh 1-0. Pirates lost 12 out of 13 now. Phillies now 5-2 over the Dodgers. LA led that game 2-0, then 2-1, I believe. Now it's the Phillies in the 7th going to work. Wonder if Rhys Hoskins did anything special.
They might have had another rain delay there. They were ahead of us.
No balls, 2 strikes. And way outside for Zimmerman, 1-2.
We've been talking about Minnesota and how they've been hanging in there, but New York's come back to lead them. Twins have 2 different series left with the Tigers, which might really bode well for them.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And up and out of play. The Yankees are done with Boston, I believe, so no chance for the Yankees to go head to head with their hated rivals who lead them by 3 in the AL East. So they'll need some help to catch Boston and win their division.
There's a team over there that I was way off on, that I really liked. Thought they'd win the East, and they're going to finish last in the East. That's Toronto.
They just got off such a horrid start. And a lot of guys hurt early. Never recovered. Seemed like they got hot there for a minute, though, maybe end of July or somewhere. But
yeah.
A swing and a miss by Zimmerman at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And that ends the 9th inning. Last call for the Braves. Need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Kurt Suzuki leads it off against Sean Doolittle when we come back. Series with the Nationals on Braves Live after this 9th inning wraps up. Hopefully it's a comeback inning for the Braves. They need 3 to win, and a tough hombres out there. Sean Doolittle, whom they acquired from the Oakland A's, and he has been outstanding since putting on the red, white, and blue of the Nationals.
He's had a good year all around. 49 games combined, 21 out of 22 on the save department, 9 walks against 57 strikeouts, but with the Nationals, Chip is right. He is 18 for 18 in saves, all since the All-Star break.
tell you what, that's about as drastic and as good a revamping of the back end of your bullpen as you're going to find.
Absolutely.
Well, they had the luxury of being able to wait because their divisional lead was so big. I mean, that was a huge advantage for Washington. If this race had been 3-4 games instead of 10 or 11 around the deadline, Nationals might have had to buy earlier and pay a heavier price. But they got what they needed, as Doolittle will face Kurt Suzuki, He's got 2 of Atlanta's 5 hits tonight. They came against Max Scherzer, who gave up 5 hits in 7 innings.
So that fastball at 95, he can ramp it up a little higher than that and throws a lot of fastballs. Occasional change and occasional slider.
Popped up. And Rendon at third base. He is there. And he's got it for the first out. Well, again, it bears repeating, not only is Doolittle an excellent closer, but he's an excellent left-handed pitcher. And when you think about the potential matchups for Washington in the National League postseason picture, think the Cubs, Jason Hayward, Anthony Rizzo, 2 guys that come to mind immediately. Left-handed hitters. Go to the Dodgers and all the left-handed power they've got. He could be a hugely important component for Dusty Baker. As Adonis Garcia whacks the first one into the seats, foul for a strike.
I was thinking about, they've got a long line of left-handed hitters in Chicago. If they draw them in the first round, Schwarber is another that's key ingredient in their offense.
No balls and a strike. And that missed inside. Even count. Well, this is a hugely important year for the Nationals, who have had some excellent teams and have suffered nothing but heartbreak in postseason play. Perhaps this is the year they will get over the hump. And as things stand now, the way the standings are, first team they'd have to knock off, well, the defending world champions. The Cubs would be Dusty Baker's matchup, the team he formerly managed.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for anybody in the National League. There's a lot of teams could win it.
That's out of play, and it's 1-2.
And because of that, each team is going to have their full complement of players. They've got to have their roster together with their key players on the field, and that includes Bryce Harper.
As we reported earlier today, got to the ballpark early, took some batting practice against some young pitchers today as he begins to make his way back from a bone bruise. That's caught at second and retires Garcia for the second out. Again, the most closely guarded secret for the Nationals has been the progress of Bryce Harper. They're not hiding anything, but they're not exactly giving anybody a timetable as to when he's going to be back.
I mean, you got to figure in a perfect world, at a minimum, he's got to play that last 4-game homestand, but probably if they can, even in Philadelphia, would be probably my guess in a perfect world.
We read in the Washington Post when we were in D.C. last week, the plan was for Harper to play in these simulated games and get upwards of 15 at-bats a day or every other day. I think he's going to take tomorrow off. But 15 at-bats in a simulated game to try to ramp up his progress, much like they did for Jason Worth. But a simulated game isn't a real game, quite obviously.
No, and he's not, certainly not facing the quality of pitching he's going to see come postseason.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's the old saying, 70% of Bryce Harper's pretty darn good, and he'd be a big threat in the middle of that lineup, 100% or not.
Yeah,
that live batting practice would be one thing, just if nothing else to maybe let him see it out of those guys' hands, get some timing down, but everything gets ramped up when you're in a real game, one that counts.
So 1-2 from Doolittle, and foul back.
If it were important to face live batting practice, you'd do it every day instead of hitting off Eddie Perez and Terry Pendleton. Batting practice is only to get loose. If you're working on anything, you can feel good about it because you're hitting off those guys. But after spring training, nobody wants to take live BP.
Strike 3 ends the ball game, and Doolittle nails down the save for Max Scherzer, who was a much improved Max Scherzer from his outing against the Braves in Washington. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, and picks up his 15th win. Gohara suffers his 2nd loss, and game 1 goes to the Nationals, fellas, 4-2 tonight's final.
Yeah, pretty good ball game. I mean, well pitched on both sides. Scherzer certainly was better. Gohara pitched pretty well. A couple mistakes, but you know, certainly a good win for the Nats.
And one of those outings where Scherzer's pitching that you expect him to be a lot better than he was in Washington, and he was.
So he picks up the win. Gohara suffers the loss. Doolittle picks up the save. Nationals win their 91st game of the year. We'll put a nice neat bow on it for you on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. That's coming right up.